Howdy folks, Billy Jean with Thank God It's RC coming at you today from the workbench. Today we're going to attempt some repairs. When we were out at Arapica last weekend, we completely destroyed the titanium rock buggy. Well, not completely, but we cracked it on each side, so it's cracked here and cracked over here. So we're going to attempt to repair that. And a while back, before we did the rock buggy, we cracked the TRC right here. So we're going to attempt to repair both of these lexan bodies. To do this, I watched a couple videos. They said go buy yourself some fiber tape, which I did. This looks like enough to last an entire lifetime. And some were using Shugu, others were using E6000. So I'm going to use E6000 because that's what I have on hand. So let's flip the camera around and let's get to it. Alright, so here's our bug body. You can see it's cracked right there and right there. So they say you got to take the fiber tape. Let's cut this open. And basically you peel a piece off. Where's the start? Over here somewhere. Never messed with this stuff before. Alright, so that's that. We got a pair of scissors. Let's cut this thing off. Okay. So then they say you cut some strips. Alright. And you apply it over the crack. I'm going to try and keep it out of the window as much as possible. And they said press it down against all the contours really well. All right, it doesn't matter if it overhangs a little bit because you can go off and trim that later. We'll get a couple of layers in there. A little thin piece coming up this way. We'll start down here. Reinforcement. And we'll bring it up over that area there. So what we're doing is trying to make some reinforcement layers, kind of like rebar and concrete. I'm going to put one more overlapping up into here. All right. I'm going to kind of snip this a little bit just to make it more flexible, because it's in a curve, right? So I want to make sure it gets all up in the contours. All right. Let's try the other side. Other side is right over the window, so if we end up going material on the window, we'll put a sticker on the other side to cover it. Because the crack goes right over the top of the window. Okay, let's get one more tiny skinny strip. Coming across over here, a cross weave down into that. All right, and get a little. Make some snips in there to make it more flexible. Press it all down nice and good in the cracks and crevices. All right, now we need a glove. So put on a glove. Then we're going to take our put a big old glob on our finger. And smear it down into the tape. I'm going to press it in, make sure it gets in there real good. All the way down to the lexan. And get into the window a little bit, we'll have to put a sticker over it to hide it, or just leave it. Okay, other side. Yep. Fibers are lifting. It's almost like fiberglass repair. Right. Oh. Set that off to dry. Let's try to fix the TRC.
New glove. Paint's leaking.
Alright, now we gotta see how to hold this one because it's kind of tweaked. How about we use our third hand to hold it? There we go. So, another thing that happened is we snapped our cross member. So we'll grab our tool and we'll take the old one off. I was able to redesign the cross member, made this area here a little thicker, and I made it thicker down here to hopefully make it stronger so that it won't snap like that again. So we made a couple, like one for use and one for extra.
That's fine.
So we're going to replace this. We still have the 3D printed chassis rails. I have not been able to get my CNC running yet. I do hope to get that done here soon. I have a week off in end of December, so I plan on working on it then. I'm going to talk to somebody at work. They have a CNC at work, a router. So I'm going to talk to them and see what I need to do to get it going. So let's pull the clip off of here. Pull this out, our body mount. And looks like I'm gonna have to drill this out a little bit. I'll take a drill bit and kind of ream it. It's a tight fit. Grab our rubber persuasion tool and we'll tap it in. All right, in place. Now, let's reinstall the new cross member. Won't tighten it up all the way yet till we get all the screws in. Okay. Flip around. So the holes in the plastic in this are not threaded. So basically when I'm putting these screws in the first time, it threads the holes. Makes it nice and tight. So I never have any issues of it wanting to come apart. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I gotta keep moving the camera. All right, that's that. Now we find some side cutters. We clip our tuning band. Okay. Install a new one. Get it into the hole. There we go. All right, back in business. We'll wait for the bodies to dry, and then we'll put this all back together. All right, so we've let it dry for a couple of hours, and seems pretty solid. So we're going to take some snippers, and we're going to cut away the excess material here. just like that. Cleaned up that corner. Now I'll clean up this one. All right, corner's all cleaned up. Now, just like Lee over at Lee's RC, if you haven't checked out his post Arapica video, go check it out. He had some damage and he's done some upgrades to his rig. He swapped over to the same XHX pin tires that I got here. I'm running stock foams in the rear, and I have the green Endura Super Softs in the front. He's got a little bit different setup, but very similar. I now have the new cross member piece, fixed the body, and we're ready for round 2, Lee. So there we go, all set and ready to rock. Can't wait to get back out to Arapica again and see what we can get going on. So let's put the body back on. A little screw nub on the front. And our body clip in the rear. Good to go. Alright, this has been Billy Jean with Thank God It's RC and a post-carnage repair update. Thanks for watching.